Welcome back for another top-notch video. This week, guys, we're talking about the July 1st through July 5th. As always, our channel is about the TSP and retirement accounts. So if you have a TSP or a Roth IRA or 401k, we follow these funds. So for the TSP folks, we follow the CSI and F funds, and for IRA or 401k folks, we follow ETFs, IVV, VXF, EFA, and AGG. These relate to the S&P 500, small caps, international markets, and bonds. That being said, we kind of go over a general overview of our funds, kind of look at what our funds did for the week, and then look at our allocation. So going into what the funds did for this week, as you can see here, towards the end of this week, we ended up doing pretty well here. Stocks were pretty much up for the day. This is off of the 4th, so yesterday markets were closed. But overall, a positive week for all of our funds, so very good there, good things there. And overall, no red in our charts. So charts are continuing to rise, and we'll kind of go into a general overview of all of our charts. The first thing we're going to look at is IYY. Now, what is IYY? That is the general market overall fund. We like to look at this because it kind of shows us technically where things are going and where they might go in the future. It's not a prediction, it's just kind of showing based off of probability and based off all market participants. So with IYY, markets are rising. We saw a new high off of this week, so that's excellent. Good things there. On our long-term charts and technical charts, our weekly, we just had the DO or oscillator cross over to the positive territory. Our PPO line crossed our moving average line for the first time. That's a very positive sign. Good stuff going forward for IYY. With our 2-day chart, we are down just a little bit there, as you can see, from Friday. So we are going down just a tad bit, but we could possibly see a fake out here, which would be really awesome. If you look at our 4-hour charts, we are down a little bit as well. So that is what we're looking at for IYY, but overall the blue is above the red for the short term and for the long term. So we're doing very well IYYY. So let's move into some of our funds, starting with IVV or the C fund. We do have some of our capital invested in this C fund or IVV. IVV is doing very well. New highs with IVV above all our moving averages. We're seeing a good trend up with this. We're getting close to this trend line on top that they drew here on FinViz, but overall looking like very good fund, very healthy with it on our technical charts. As you can see on a weekly basis, just had our crossover line kind of like IYY, so doing very well there within the Bollinger Bands here for this first week of July. And overall, we're just down a little bit on that 2-day chart. And on the 4-hour chart, we are down just a little bit as well. But overall, the blue line is above the red line, or our PPO line is above our moving average on the short-term and long-term chart. So looking very good there for IVV or the C fund. Moving on to VXF. VXF, we are also above all our moving averages, so that is awesome to see. We have not hit new highs since back here in October, so we're a little bit under that. Hoping to see new highs hit with this. We did see the 20-day moving average move above that 50-day moving average, so that's a very good sign. And overall, our 200-day moving average is slightly bent down, so that's a little concerning to see that. We'll have to see where that goes from here. We're keeping an eye on that. As far as our technical charts go, looking at VXF, we just had a crossover on our weekly chart where that blue line, the PPO line, crossed our moving average. Our DO oscillator is turning positive. Very, very good signs there on the long-term basis. On a short-term or on a 2-day basis, so it's a more short-term basis, we did see, this is the second day now where we've had kind of a weekly or a 2-day fake out. So that's positive, but keep in mind that fake outs don't usually last super long, maybe 3 to 7 bars, 3 to 5 bars, and then they head back down. So keep that in mind. But usually they're pretty explosive, and sure enough, off our price, we did get an explosive go off that 2-day basically fake out we had. On a 4-hour chart, we are on a little bit of a decline here, but the blue line is above our red line, or our PPO line is above our moving average for the short term and for the long term. So we're doing very well for VXF. We also have some of our capital invested in VXF or the S fund. Moving on to international markets, this is EFA or the I fund. With EFA or the I fund, we've seen a lot of consolidation here, moving back and forth, up, back and forth, back and forth. We are above our moving averages. We're kind of testing a critical level here with the lines that we had, the trend lines we have drawn in. Hoping to see break through that, move higher on our technical charts with EFA or the I fund. As you can see, we're about to cross over here, so it might be a good place to maybe start looking at sticking some capital. Haven't seen a positive bar just yet with EFA. On our 2-day charts, we are kind of stagnant. We're right towards, we are moving up just a tad bit, so that's positive. So just keep an eye on that. And then on our short-term charts, we are coming down off that short-term. That blue line is getting close to the red line, so please keep that in mind. We don't have anything in the EFA just yet. It's out of our 3 stock funds. It's been it hasn't performed as well as the C or the S fund this year, but something to keep in mind and watch closely, especially with a lot of the big ticket items on the radar, such as tariffs and interest rates and whatnot. Moving on to bonds. So with AGG or bonds, the F fund. With the F fund, we've seen some great growth out of this fund for the year. We're seeing some consolidation here now in June, now moving into July. Looking at it from our technical charts, let's see what we can see. With that, on our technical charts, a weekly chart, you can see that we had our first down bar for AGG. This is concerning. I wouldn't put money in this once we have a down bar into this fund. We'll have to see where this goes. Last time we had it, didn't even go. Our blue line didn't even cross the red line, and we saw very few red bars. But that doesn't mean it can't happen this time. So we want to be very cautious with AGG or the F fund at this time. As you can see on the 2-day chart, we did just almost have a cross, and our DO just went negative for the first time in a very long time. And then on a 4-hour chart, we continue to remain negative. So not a place to have funds right now. Sticking with those stock funds. Typically when bonds have gone down recently, stock funds have gone up. So hopefully we'll continue to see something of that trend. And it was very interesting. We got the job report today. It was a very strong job report, and stocks kind of took that negatively because they want to see interest rates decrease. So that was interesting. Always very interesting with the markets, how the markets react to different things. That being said, let's go into our allocations for what we have. So if we scroll down a little bit here, as you can see, we are invested in IVV and VXF, where that is the C fund and the S funds, ETFs, IVV and VXF. We are split a little bit differently this week because we had our allocation go in for the month of July, all to the S fund. That raised up our percentage just a tad bit, so now we are a 51-49 percentage. We'll rebalance, I'm sure, sometime in the future, but that's where we're allocated for this week. With that, guys, that is my weekly video. If you think this video could help somebody out, please like, subscribe, or share. I have a question for you guys. Which fund do you think will perform the best in July? Let me know in the comments below. Really appreciate your guys' time and support, and that's another top-notch video. We'll see you guys next time.